Guys, he's grown 200% year over year, doing about a $1.5 million run rate today. That's up from just 35-ish thousand dollars a month exactly 1 year ago when they closed their first round of funding, $2 million on around a 10 million post-money valuation. Before that, they just had two early angel investors that put in a couple, 10, 20, 30,000 bucks a pop. Otherwise, him and his co-founder split equity 50-50 for their tool, mobile.io, which helps businesses keep their metadata updated across many, many listing sites, whether that's Google Places or some other app exchange. Hey, folks, my guest today is Jakob Vikström. He is the founder of mobile.io. That's MOBAL. It helps with business profile automation. Jakob, you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
What does that mean, business profile automation?
What business profile automation mean? That means actually like if you Google, let's say, a restaurant on the Google search engine, you see this info profile with pictures, reviews, opening hours, anything. It takes manual clicks to actually update it. Well, our software automates a lot of that updating in a nutshell.
So it's like metadata updates across many different listing sites?
And many different listing sites, yeah. And we believe like that sort of the world is consolidating into these bigger platforms. So again, Google, Instagram, Facebook, and really soon as well, Apple is where we're integrating with the platform.
You have a lot of energy. Does that mean you're rich? Do you have a lot of customers already?
No, I don't know. I think it's part of my personality. But things are going well, to answer your question also.
That's very cool. Okay, so what are you charging companies on average to use this technology per month?
So it's a good question. So again, per month, it changes depending on how many locations you have. So again, to take you through some really basics, again, the Google profile listing or in Apple Maps, the listing itself, the companies that actually need it are those who have foot traffic to their location. So again, for example, a restaurant, car dealership, cafes, different retail companies, brick and mortar, and so forth, because customers use the search engines or maps to actually like find some kind of hyperlocal information. So yeah, the pricing, to come back to that again, how we price the product is according to the features. Like if you want to, let's say that you're a restaurant and reviews are really your issue, then we can charge as well just for automating the reviews.
But Jakob, just give me an average real quick. What's the average customer pay you per month?
An average customer, I would say, like, again, it depends on the locations, but let's say if it's one location, it could be everything between 40 and 60, depending on the automations. But then if it's 300 locations, it can go well under 10 euros as well per location.
Yep. Okay, but Jakob, make the math easy. If you add up all your customers and divide by your revenue, right? What's the average customer paying per month?
The average customer paying per month, like, are you talking about the whole customer base that we have?
Yes.
The annual, the average contract value, I think it's about 5K at
per
this
year?
Point. Per year, yeah.
Okay, 5K per year. That's great. And that average, what is that for 5 locations, 10 locations? What's your typical user?
And the typical user is a smaller chain, like with that actually has the like need for its business to run, that the foot traffic has to go into the location itself.
And put this on a timeline for me. When did you launch the company? What year?
We launched 3 years ago. And how we launched was that we actually started by just doing this manually as a service to the clients to update the listings. That was how we started. And from there, we started to learn the pain points, what the customers actually needed. Then we built a tool for ourselves to update the listings even more effectively ourselves. And then customers started to ask as well to use it. And from there, we became a SaaS company.
So how much revenue did you do in your best year as just a service business before you launched the SaaS company?
As a service business, it was something closer to $1 million that we did with the service business, yeah.
And who's we? When you did $1 million in revenue that year, how many full-time employees did you have?
At that time, I think something maybe closer to 15 people before we then became a SaaS company and took a venture capital investment, which was 1 year ago. And then at that point, we raised our seed round.
So how much did you raise in the seed?
2 million.
Okay, 2 million. And most folks are selling between 15 and 20% of their company in their seed round. Is that the same for you?
Something in that ballpark, yeah.
Okay, so you raised it like a 10 million post-money valuation, something like that.
In the ballpark, yeah.
Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right, so the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise, they sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. Okay, looking back now, was that the right decision?
It's definitely the decision. And again, like I believe as in any sort of round you go and raise, even if we've just raised like one proper, I think it's more about as well who you're partnering up with. So again, like we're thankful to have as well Lifeline, which was the venture capital company who invested in us.
Very good. Okay, so you raised 210, and how many? It sounds like you have co-founders. How many of you guys launched the business?
So it's me and one other co-founder as well. And yeah, that was us two who started, and then two business.
Yeah. Were you nice at the beginning? You just split it 50-50?
No, because we had two business angels as well in the beginning. So they as well played a part, and not only invested, they actually worked part-time for the first year to get the business.
How much did they invest?
That was really like small amount. It's in the like amounts of tens of thousands that they invested. So and then after that
two angels plus two co-founders at the start, but ignoring I'm just curious how the co-founder split the equity. Were you guys split equally or no?
Yeah, equally, yeah, with the co-founder. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then how much did you give the two early angels? What percent of the business? 20, 30, 50?
Like the amount originally on the cap table, it was something like 10 and 10%, something in that ballpark.
Interesting. 10% today of your company, right, is worth $1 million because you just raised at a 10 million valuation. Why couldn't you? I mean, it sounds like you had a successful agency. Why couldn't you use 50K from the agency revenue to fund the software business and keep that equity from those angels?
That's definitely what we did after starting the company. And again, like beyond the equity itself, the money, like I think I really saw the value of business angels in the beginning when they joined the company, because it was more than equity. It was network. It was both successful in building their own business. That was definitely a part of the agreement as well. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I would say that's my take on the angels. And as somebody said, like there's never a perfect cap table. And I think, but I would say I'm really satisfied.
Come on, Jakob. I'll tell you what a perfect cap table is. $1 billion company, and I own 100%. That's perfect.
Well, that's perfect in a sense. But again, in a sense, it's perfect. But again, I think sharing your victories with others is like what the whole story is about as well.
Yeah. You're a nice guy. I mean, I'm kidding. I enjoy that too. You want to take a good team with you. But let's just say this: a cap table with no equity investors on it, only your team. That would be very cool. All right. Talk to me more about your size today. How many customers are paying you?
Customers are a bit over 300 now in total. Yeah.
And so can I take
and we're
300?
like we're like Europe and then US and really, yeah, we're really in the beginning. Like we're still building the foundations to what we do. And again, like on the mega trend that we're working in, and what we know that is happening already is that if you get all the information from the listing, let's say that you are going to go to a restaurant, you don't go to the website anymore. You just go to the listings. So the listings are becoming the new version of the website if people still use search engines as their way to consume info. And that's the really interesting part of what we're working with.
Can I take 300 customers times the $5,000 a year average contract value? You guys are doing about a $1.5 million run rate today.
Yeah, something in that ballpark. Yeah.
Okay, that would be about $120,000 a month last month. Is that right?
Something in that ballpark. Yeah.
And help us understand growth. If you're at around that today, where were you exactly 1 year ago?
1 year ago, I think, yeah. Now again, I don't remember exactly the numbers, but something closer to a 200% growth.
Okay, so you were like around $40,000 a month about a year ago.
Something in that ballpark, yeah. You're really interested in the numbers. I think that's good. Businesses are driven with numbers.
Have you listened to the show?
I have.
Okay, well then you know that I always ask numbers, right?
It's good.
I get bored otherwise. Okay, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
like
good.
It. All right, very cool. Got it. So I guess walk me through how you're growing today. How are you signing up new customers?
So we're signing up new customers mainly, like we're trying to get everyone to talk to us first. It's an interesting like model that I believe in, like the whole self-serve PLG model as well. But when you're early and we're really trying to listen to the customer as good as possible, I think doing that manually in the beginning works, and that's what we've noticed to work. So again, really like to go into a practical term, like SDR activated demos all the way.
Okay, interesting. So how many folks are on the team today, and how many are SDRs?
Folks on the team are thinking about the sales team.
Just your whole team, the whole team.
The whole team, we're 31 today.
How many sales reps?
And sales reps were 5.
And do they all carry a quota?
Yeah, and different, obviously, like quotas, depending if you're an SDR or an AE.
What's the SDR quota?
SDR quota is in meetings.
How many?
It's a good question. I think it's 20 meetings that we have as our quota. Yeah.
Per month or week?
Month.
Per month. Interesting. And then what's the AE target quota?
Again, it's dependent a bit on the market. It's dependent on like which companies you're targeting. But it can be anything, again, dependent on ramp up on market, but let's say between 1 and 4K MRR.
So each month, the AE has to convert the SDR meetings that get set up into 1 to 4K of new MRR.
Yeah, dependent on the market.
Okay,
yeah.
So if they add 4K every month for 12 months, they're adding $48,000 a month to the business, or approximately $600,000 in new ARR per AE. But you only have, it sounds like, 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. You raised about a year ago. Are any plans to raise this year?
We haven't thought about it at this point because, again, we're building so many foundational things to the company to actually scale effectively with capital. Like, well, as the name of the game is today, but we've always had that approach to have a really red line of sort of how we use capital. So no, not today, but by the end of the year, who knows?
Why don't you have more than 300 customers? I mean, one thing you can do is obviously scrape listing websites and then reach out to every single founder. It feels like an outbound strategy here. You guys just be printing money?
Yeah, no, I think it's a really, really good point, and that's a part of as well, like building the machinery that we're gonna do. I think there's a lot of potential, but still, a lot of the sort of sales work is done manually. Because at the same time, I think we still have a lot sort of to figure out with the product and how we'll like maximize the customer value. So that would be like my answer. Even how much I would like to scale endlessly, I mean, as quickly as possible. I think we first have to really dig out and understand all our customers.
And when you look at how sticky your customers are, what has your net dollar retention been over the past 12 months?
It's been something about 100%. It's been the
100%.
yeah.
Okay. And what are you willing to spend in terms of CAC to get a new $5,000 a year customer?
Again, that's changing so much. So I can't even give you a straight answer to that. It depends on like looking 2 months back, it's very different than it's today. So
all right, fair enough. Jakob, on that note, let's wrap up with the famous five. Number one, favorite book.
Favorite book, Ray Dalio's Principles.
That's a good one. Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Well, the one I'm following at the moment and a new one is Stephen Barley, with the podcast.
Number three, what's your favorite online tool for building mobile?
Favorite online tool, I would say SalesLoft.
Number three, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
I would say weekdays 7, weekend 9.
Fair. And what's your situation? Married, single, kids?
I'm in a relationship, yeah, but unmarried.
Not married. Any kids?
No kids.
Okay. And how old are you, Jakob?
I'm 31.
31. Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
That's a good question. Well, to make more mistakes, maybe that would be like what I would have wanted to know.
Guys, he's grown 200% year over year, doing about a $1.5 million run rate today. That's up from just $35-ish thousand a month exactly 1 year ago when they closed their first round of funding, $2 million on around a $10 million post-money valuation. Before that, they just had 2 early angel investors that put in a couple, 10, 20, $30,000 a pop. Otherwise, him and his co-founder split equity 50-50 for their tool, mobile.io, which helps businesses keep their metadata updated across many, many listing sites, whether that's Google Places or some other app exchange. Jakob, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.